is Russ. Yeah, I'm here sitting in the car. Just got out of Costco. Today is a cold and snowy day, but it is like light snow. Things are sticking, but not much. I don't know if that's a good way of saying it. I guess they call it flurries, but it is sticking. Driveway and sidewalks have snow on it, but very light amount. So I was out there and I shoveled twice, but very small amounts. We're talking maybe not even a quarter inch, something like that. Anyways, I was at Costco and I figured I'd turn the camera on. I wanted to see what you had to say about this, okay? Let me show you this. Costco Vegetable Oil, okay? Let's talk a little bit about this. Kirkland brand Costco Vegetable Oil. This is 2.84 liters or 96 fluid ounces or 3 quarts, depending on how you want to look at it. Now, I was instructed to go get some vegetable oil because we were basically running out. And we have a bunch of frying to do for a party that's going to be coming up. So Mrs. Wright says, get some vegetable oil. And I said, well, how much would you like me to get? She goes, well, you don't need to get a lot, but you're going to be doing a lot of frying, making egg rolls and things, right? So I said, okay. So I looked at the app from Jewel, which is a local grocery store chain here. And what did the app say? Let me look at this here. Let me give you the exact amounts here. So let's pull up their app here. And I'll type in oil. And it says cooking oil. Okay, so on their app, the Jewel brand of Signature Select Vegetable Oil, 64 ounces is $6.99 each. This is the app, okay? So $6.99 each. It comes out to 11 cents per fluid ounce. Now, I took a look at the sign that's on the Costco thing for the Costco oil, and it was something like 6 cents, something around 6 cents, a little 6.6 point something cents per ounce. So if you look at it this way, not quite, but almost half the price. Now, the only problem is, in order to get Costco product, as many people know, you got to buy a lot of it. You don't just get this one, you get 2 of these, okay? 2 of these. It's probably more than we will need for what we're going to do. But, so here's my question to you. At $6.99 for the 64 fluid ounce version, this was like $11.99, I think, something like that, for 96 times 2 fluid ounces. What is that? 2, that's 12, that's 180, 198 fluid ounces. 198 fluid ounces versus 64 fluid ounces, and it costs you a little bit more at $11.99, or you can get the smaller amount for $6.99. What would you have done? That's the question of the day. Would you pay the higher price and get the smaller quantity, or would you pay? Okay, it's higher price per fluid ounce. Would you pay the higher price there, or would you pay the higher price and get a lot more quantity? Higher price in the sense that it is actually cheaper, though, by almost half. Okay, but you've got a lot more quantity. You see what I'm saying? Which would you have done? All right, calculate it yourself. Put a comment below. Let me know. What would you have done? Would you have bought the more quantity at a higher price, but technically almost half the price per fluid ounce, or would you have just bought the smaller quantity? Now, I know Mrs. Wright would probably tell me you should have bought the smaller quantity. We'll never go through that much. And there lies the problem. All right, let me get driving here, and we'll talk a little bit. Let me get moving out of here. Okay, so here's the problem. It's very hard for me to pass up a deal, even though I have to buy a little bit more of it, because I know in time we'll probably use it. The thing is, though, it's only 2 of us. So the only time we would use this much is if we have some type of event to go to where we're cooking up a whole bunch of stuff and it's requiring us to fry something, okay? Now, we don't do that much frying, honestly. So the only time we'll fry something is we're going to fry things like, you know, a whole bunch of egg rolls or something like that that you bring to a party. Or, you know, whatever you're doing that you're bringing to a party. Otherwise, really, if you think about it, I don't need anything much more than Costco rotisserie chicken, and she, of course, eats a lot of salads and things. So will we ever get through all this? That's the question. Now, the alternative is I can give away the second bottle. I could give it to daughter right if I wanted to. But then, of course, technically it costs me money to do that. But I think even so, even if I gave away the other bottle, when you do a bunch of frying, some people reuse the oil, right? They'll strain it, then they'll reuse the oil. Others will toss it. I usually toss it because somehow the oils always taste a little different when it's not fresh. You know, maybe it has something else in there. I guess if you were cooking things that weren't, like if you were frying fish, I wouldn't reuse the oil, right? Everything would taste like fish if you did that. If you were frying chicken, would you reuse the oil? I guess if you're gonna fry another batch of chicken, who really cares then, right? But if you're not, you know, what else could you fry in it if you're reusing the oil and not have it taste like the last thing that you fried? Now, in our cases here, we'll probably be making, well, it's actually spring rolls is probably what we'll be making. Spring roll is actually like an egg roll. It's just that the skin type is different. The spring rolls are smooth, right? Very crunchy, flakier, let's say. Egg rolls, you know, have that characteristic, it's almost like bubbled fry skin, egg roll skin, okay? Let me know if you know the difference between an egg roll and a spring roll. If I can find a photo of it, I'll put it up so you can see the difference between an egg roll and a spring roll. But yeah, so I was at Costco. I had to pick up some things, and I remembered I had to get some oil because we're gonna need it eventually to do this frying. And so I searched and I found it on the Jewel app. And then I looked over here and I go, you know, it's I don't know what was it, $4 and something cents more, but the quantity of oil I'm getting is more than doubled that amount, right? It's a lot more oil. So what would you have done? What would you have done? Okay, I know I'll probably catch a little bit of flack for buying so much oil because we'll really never use it all. I just can't pass on the deal. I don't know, I have a hard time paying for more of something per fluid ounce. That's almost double. I mean, not quite, but it's almost double per fluid ounce. But of course, if you never use it, you know, there's a school of thought that if you're never going to use it, then you're overpaying. Yeah, that's true. But I could give it away if I had to. I could give that thing away if I wanted to. I don't know. What would you do? What did I do the right thing? Russ is always right. I told you guys that. Yeah, well, okay. Let me know. All right. What else was I going to talk about? I was going to tell you about the weather, okay? Now, here's an interesting thing. The weather is not the greatest. And I had mentioned on the other channel that my sister's coming into town. And so she'll be here in a couple of days. And she'll be with me for about a week, something like that. And so she's coming in. And, of course, I knew her fear was, okay, I hope it doesn't snow. But, yeah, it's snowing now. She'll be here in a few days. But I don't think it's going to continue to snow. The forecast doesn't show snow during the time period she's here. But obviously there'll be snow on the ground when she's here. I think the last time she was here in Chicago area was when my mom passed away, and of course we had snow and everything back at that time. I think it was snowing, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was raining. One of the two, raining or snowing. It was really miserable. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So she's come in, but it's, it has not been good times, and it also has been bad weather. So once again, she's getting snow. She said that she hoped that it wouldn't snow. Well, there you go. It's going to snow. It's snowing now. It's not going to continue, though. I don't think. Gotta get a sip of Diet Pepsi. I mentioned, too, that Costco is going away from Pepsi products to Coke in the summer. I don't know if I'll get used to it. I mean, I know what the taste of Diet Coke is. I know what the taste of Diet Pepsi is. But to me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm not a brand loyalist in that sense. Some people are. They won't take the Pepsi or they won't take the Coke, whatever. And if they don't have it, they just won't get it. I don't really care. I just get it. So anyway, that's really about it for today. I wanted to get out there. I had to get my stuff, but of course I got my pizza and my drink. Will I ever give up the drink, the Diet Pepsi? I don't know. I had been tempted to say maybe I should just bring in a can of sparkling water. I mean, it is Kirkland brand that I buy. In fact, I bought some now. I bought a whole case of that. $11 and something cents for like 35 cans, something. It's relatively inexpensive in comparison to other things you could be drinking. Plus, zero calories. And basically, it's water that's been carbonated with a little flavoring on it. But I've been tempted to just bring that in. I should just do that. Just bring in a can of something. Then I don't have to pay the 69 cents for the Diet Pepsi. And it's probably better for me on the long run. It'll save me money. Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, I do like carbonated drinks. That's the problem. I can't seem to not get it. And I know that the artificial sweeteners aren't good for you either, chemicals and things. So let me know what you do. And some of you guys I know have told me that you've given up soda altogether. Good for you. I can't seem to be able to do it. Yep, not good. So I'm looking around. It's pretty gray out there. And if you might notice too, the sun is not coming in hard and, giving me big shadows on my face and everything like that. It's gray. Everything's grayed out. Nothing is bright and sunny. It's not shining all over the place. It's actually the better weather for things like photography because you don't have harsh shadows to have to deal with. I remember once, you guys were asking me to tell you more about forensic stuff. Let me give you a forensic story, okay? I was assigned to do a photo of a crime scene that had happened, and this thing was going to go to court. I was working for the DA's office in San Diego County at the time. So my supervisor said, go out there, take a photo, because they need a photo of the area where the crime occurred. Sometimes you have to have these establishing photos just so when they go to trial, they can show the jury this is what the place looked like. This is what it is. Okay. Apparently they didn't have photos of that, so they said go out there, take a photo. And we did a lot of that kind of stuff. We'd be assigned photo assignments where we'd have to go out and take pictures of something, whether inside crime scene house or outside, or do an aerial photo, whatever. So back in those days we didn't have drones. I don't know today I'm sure they probably use drones to do certain things, but anyway, that's another story for another day. But so he said go out there and take a photo. I says, yeah, well, it's kind of dreary outside. It was kind of like today, but not snowy. You're talking San Diego, but it wasn't really sunny. He goes, yeah, it's raining a little bit. He says, but misting a little bit. But he says, those are the best days to go and take a photo. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, think about it. Sun, I go, yeah, there's no sun. He goes, think about that. I go, yeah, no shadows. It's like one big softbox, if you know what a softbox is for lighting. He goes, yep, that is the best day to do it. Do it now while you can. Otherwise, if you go another day, he says, if you have a nice sunny San Diego day, you're going to get shadows in areas and it's hard to see in the shadows. So I go, yeah, you're right. So I had to go out in the mist, take my photos and come back, right? Yeah, I had a lot of assignments like that at the DA's office where I had to go to places to take a photo. Yeah, interesting. So, okay, I'll tell you one more, then we'll call it a day, all right? So I had another request to go to a gay bar. Yeah, I'm not gay, all right? I'm not gay. But our secretary was. Yeah, he was in charge of dealing with all the audio evidence and any evidence that we would get in for discovery. Discoveries where the defense would come and take, you'd have to let the defense know what evidence you have against their client so that they can properly prepare for some type of defense, okay? And part of the thing with our technical services division is that we got all the audio recordings. So you're talking recordings that are things like, what can I say? Things like police interviews. Yeah, I was looking for the proper wording for that. You know, what some people would say, interrogation. No, we don't call it interrogation. We call it police interviews. Yeah, they're sitting in a room, they're talking, you know, they're discussing whatever. And then, of course, the recording is happening, the video recording is happening. So he had all the videotapes, he had all the audio tapes, all that type of stuff. And then he would allow the defense attorneys to come in and make a copy of the tapes, which they legally have the right to do. They don't get the originals. They have to make their own copies. So the defense's investigator would come in, literally sit there and make a copy of the recording. Eventually, we started making copies for them, and they accepted that because it saves them a lot of time. So we had high-speed duplicators for cassettes and things like that. And video, he'd have to make a copy on the videotapes and whatever. So his job was to do that. So anyway, I was assigned to go to this gay bar because they had a robbery, okay? And so I says, okay, well, I don't want to go by myself. So I had a DA investigator go with me, all right? So my job is to take photos of the inside of the gay bar and then also to do a drawing, a sketch, essentially, of the layout of the bar, okay? So I says, okay. So I did my job. I did whatever I could remember I needed to do, and then I came back. This was one of the first assignments I had when I worked there. And so after you do your quickie sketch, then you have to actually draw it out on a big poster board size drawing so that it could be enlarged and they could use that as an exhibit to show the jury, you know, so they can say, hey, this is the layout of the bar, this is where the thing occurred and all that. So I drew it out, and you know, the thing is, you don't measure per se. You don't measure the actual size of the thing. What we do is we pace it out. So, for instance, you know, you just walk and say, okay, that's 5 paces from this point to that point, and you go to the opposite direction, you know, like if you're going lengthwise, and then you go horizontally, okay, maybe it's 3 paces to this side, and then the main area, that's 10 paces this way. So you just write down 10, 5, 3, whatever the things are, right? I'm going to pull off here and talk a little bit. And so so I did it, and then I started to do the drawing. So I'm on the sketchboard thing, and I'm drawing it out. And so my secretary guy, he comes over, he's looking at this thing, he goes, what are you drawing, Russ? I says, well, I had to do this gay bar, and I had to do the sketch, and now I'm just drawing it out, right, for the exhibit for the court. He's looking at this thing, he goes, that's not right. I said, what do you mean it's not right? He goes, no, he says, the opening for the bathroom is actually over here. not there. And I go back and I look at the at the photos. He's correct. He goes, yeah, and I think that bar is actually probably a little bit more to the left over here, not there. And I'm looking at this and go, yeah, he's correct. Then it dawned on me. I go, why is he correct? He wasn't with me. He'd been there before. Okay. It is kind of funny. I tell you, we had a good time. Some of the things we've done there, we had a good time. Yeah, you miss those days, you know. You miss those guys. Yeah, well, you know, what can you say? If the guy's been there, the guy's been there. I've never been there. Oh, okay, one more. I'll give you one more. I had an assignment to go to a strip club. There you go. See, I got all these great stories for you guys. I had an assignment to go to a strip club. Basically the same basic thing. You know, some type of event happened at the strip club. I don't remember even what the event was. Was it a burglary? No, it wasn't a burglary. Was it robbery? I don't know. Assault? I don't know. Something happened, okay? So they said, okay, you got to go to the strip club. Do the same basic thing, all right? Take some photos, do the measurement thing. Not measurement, but, you know, do the sketch, come back, do the drawing. Okay, well, no big deal. Eventually I got better at this stuff, right? So, of course, I'm not going in there by myself as well. I said, okay, I need a DA investigator to go with me. So yeah, so we went there. But it was like 10 in the morning, okay? So I come back, and then, of course, everybody says, well, how was the strip club, Russ? I go, not eventful. They go, you didn't get to see anything? I go, it's 10 in the morning. Nothing's happening at 10 in the morning. The guys who frequent those places are probably, you know, nighttime or, you know, something. I said, nothing was happening there. Yeah. So, but it was the first time I'd ever been in a strip club, okay? And, you know, they got the pole, right? The dancing poles and stuff like that. And I go, well, I got to see the inside of a place. Yeah. He goes, you didn't see anything, Russ? I go, no, nobody's out there. It's 10 in the morning, come on. The place is empty, right? So, yeah, I didn't get to see anything. Oh, well, no big deal. I didn't really care. But it would have been interesting if there was some people there. I've had different places I've had to go to before in the past, and you know, you have to kind of wonder what are you going to see, or what's going to happen when you go there. Well, we'll leave that for another story on another video, okay? But there's plenty of little stories like that, you know, whether it was a DA story or a police department story. The DA stories are always pretty interesting, though, because we've had a variety of different cases. It's not just you know, not just your typical cases. I mean, we've had everything, you know, domestic violence cases, rape cases, burglary cases, fire cases, homicide cases, you name it, we've had it. So I have plenty of stories I can tell you guys. I won't go into details specifically of, you know, what the case was, unless I'm allowed to. Some cases, yeah, that's not to tell you all the details, but I can tell you the general things, like I just told you. So, all right, that's all I have for you guys for today. If you like today's video, let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It definitely helps us. And let me know about this whole thing with the oil. That was the main thing. All right, what would you have done with the oil? Would you have gotten that much of it, or would you have simply just said, I'll pay the higher price? I mean, it's almost twice the price. Got a smaller quantity. All right, I'll talk to you guys next time.